So here's my question. I saw it on an Ask Reddit type thing, a variation of it. Let's pretend in this world you're never on the hook for child support or like parenting responsibilities.
Oh.
Would you like to have dozens and dozens of kids out there? Is that a thing that's like kind of cool to spread to be Johnny Appleseed over there? And
yes, like, and just from like a vanity sort of standpoint, if I'm being honest, because that's all. What else could it be? Like because you must think so much of your genetics that you're like, we got to spread this far and wide. I think America. This is like when they got watermelons to stop being pieces of shit.
Too many people don't have facial blindness.
Motherfuckers recognizing each other. It's got to stop.
They're like, Dad, I'm one of your 30 kids for the last time.
Yeah, but like you'd have to excuse all that other stuff, right? I don't want to have to talk to him or anything.
Right. Yeah, I of course, very few people actually want dozens of kids and the responsibility that goes with it. But just to, like, do I have a breeding kink? Because I think that'd be kind of cool.
It would be kind of cool. Like, be a miniature Genghis Khan. Be like, yeah, I got a bunch of kids out there. One of them's gonna do something good, and then ignore the bad ones. You know?
So you're on the train too, Taylor. You would provided there were no responsibilities. You think it'd be cool to have a bunch of Taylors out there?
How about this is the scenario? Let me change it a little.
Team of kids to, because I'd want kids to. I
got it
in their life too.
Imagine you live in a small town, Taylor, and you impregnate every single one of the local moms, and they all have kids at the same time, and you're the coach of the high school hockey team, and the whole team is your kids. This is a little sitcom I've been working on for us.
Oh, I'd like that. I'd like that. A lot of kids be on the bench. You know, I'd only take the A team. I'd take the kids from like the tallest women, and I'd show them the most favor, give them the most training. That'd be fun. It would be weird having a kid out there that like you had no connection to at all, though. I don't think I would like that at all.
I know somebody who has that.
This is from years ago, but do you guys remember? I told it on the show. Some friends of mine, or acquaintances really, that are lesbians, like asked if I would give them sperm,
give them your seed,
because they wanted kids. And
did you fuck them both just to be sure?
No, it wasn't. They're not.
They wanted
that
a sample.
Mary, it's you, right? You're the one who wants the baby.
No.
They were more like Roseanne lesbians.
Let me ask you this. They started the question. They started the talk with like Sandra was like, Taylor, you just look so much like me. I thought.
A little less there, but
yeah.
So
they wanted a sample.
Both have hairy asses.
Yeah, they wanted me to consider giving them sperm so they could have a kid, and immediately I was like disgusted by that. I was like, "What?
You can't have my boy? No!"
Like, well, first of all, some legal bullshit's going to come down the pike 9 years from now, and I'm going to be paying you for a kid that you didn't even have a part in raising. You're gonna trans my son and make me pay for it. You know, that's not what I'm looking for. And also, it'd be so fucking weird to know you have a kid out there and just have nothing to do with the kid. You know, like just knowing your son's out there or your daughter, and they have no connection at all to their biological.
It's weird
father.
to you now because you haven't normalized it. 10, 12 kids in, you get used to it.
You would, yeah. It's probably like drugs, where eventually it's like I need to be, transitively banging up even more lesbians.
Mm-hmm.
Really, that would be a good sitcom. Like, imagine that. Like, let's see, like maybe like the main character, his father was a fertility doctor. And on his father's deathbed, he confesses that he's done this to the whole town, and that he realizes that all the kids in town are his brothers and sisters.
You know that story from like some guy in, I think.
It's happened.
Denmark, like he
400
made it,
kids or something.
Like his whole career, he was like, "Haha! Everybody else has been showing up, jacking off in a cup, and I've been pouring it down the garbage disposal, and I've been getting y'all pregnant."
I mean, he is a doctor.
Wild. Yeah, but not like a real one.
I mean, he's a fertility doctor. It seems like he's got beakers and.
He's not even that. He's just giving his own cum to women.
No, he's like their doctor.
He's like that.
There's
He's a
a-
PhD.
He's a PhD. Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty fucking good. I mean, there's some bricklayers out there. You know what I mean? Like not everybody's a PhD, Taylor. I'm sorry.
Well, this guy, like, if it's,
I bet if your lesbian friends could choose between your seed or a PhD seed, they probably, I don't know. What's
no,
his
they'd
beard look
want
like?
the internet guy.
Okay, you're right.
They'd be like, we really want our son to be able to do a marginal Indian guy impression. Oh, well, you have come to the right place for come.
There was an X-Files episode where that was happening in a town, and they were just discovering it because the kids were being born with tails.
There's one doctor with a tail who's like, it's got everyone baffled.
I can't get
well,
past
he wasn't
the
a
idea
doctor.
that these.
He was like a janitor or something. He was sneaking in.
I'm stuck on the thought that these lesbians scissor all the time. They saw Taylor do the splits, and now they want his seed.
That's
They don't.
true.
Those girls don't scissor. They saw.
I was banging out the splits at their birthday party that one time, and they're like, whoa, this guy, we need his cum. Let's ask him and put him in a uncomfortable position.
When I first heard you say do the splits,
Yeah.
I was like, it's do a split. He says it funny. And then I realized a split is like South Jersey only. Like it's a
Really?
very small, like South Jersey, Philly, and the rest of the country says it your way.
No, I think in the South we say do a split too.
Do you? Oh, no.
Sometimes it's hard for me to, I don't know, like remember how I say it, or because I go back and forth depending on who I'm talking to with like things like caramel or whatever.
Yeah.
Um,
Caramels if I'm like trying to, flavor it up, fancy it up. Otherwise, it's just caramel.
I say caramel. Like that's my default, I think, because I just did.
I would probably say caramel because I'm not as high-handed as you.
La di da.
Yeah.
I think you're the one being high-handed.
Caramel is fancier than caramel.
Open your mouth and enunciate caramel. Caramel.
I did a Google
Which one
image
is the
search.
dirtier sounding word? Caramel or caramel?
Caramel. Man, I would
Thank
love
you.
a Carmelo right now.
I did a Google image search on like the split versus a split, hoping to find like a US map. And all I did is unlock a new kink. This is pretty good.
Yeah, you guys got to play by my rules though. As a Midwesterner, we're the ones with the most common vernacular that everyone gets, no matter where you live in the country. You're gonna take some like, isn't it Pittsburgh where they say yins guys instead of you guys? All yins.
Are you sure it's not yins?
Yeah, like YINZ.
Humans.
Oh, I've heard use. My father-in-law used to say use.
Use.
Yeah,
Don't like
that's it.
that. You is already plural.
Yeah.
All of you. But anyway,
I
that's
don't watch. I haven't watched The Weatherman
in
in so goddamn long. I just realized, like, if I want the weather, I pull up the Doppler radar and look at what's going on because
I ask Siri most of the time.
Yeah, right. Like the last time I saw a weatherman, it was on the dirty side of YouTube, and it was Mexican weather girls.
Weathermen need to go by the wayside. You can only be like so useless for so long. Like there's no point. They're all the apps do it for you, and it's faster.
Well, who do you think does the apps?
Meteorologists. We only
Yeah.
we don't need one for every channel, though.
That's
So
what I'm
you're
saying.
saying
Like,
the TV personality needs to go,
Yeah,
not so
the
much that the profession needs to go.
yeah, the
Yeah.
TV guy. Like there's no point in wasting time on even giving that guy a second of screen time. Like
You know
he's
what I
somebody
learned?
You already know.
The weather forecasting accuracy is wildly different in different parts of the country. Like in Florida, they nail it like 8 days out. They get it right all the time. Where Kyle and I are, it's pretty good, like 4 to 7 days. Like they usually get it. Where Taylor is, beyond 2 to 3 days, and it's kind of a crapshoot. And I didn't.
Oh,
expect
maybe that's
that.
why I have such a bad
Yeah,
image of weathermen, because maybe it's just a Midwest thing because we have weird weather here with all the
they say it's very hard to
and everything.
call.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're wrong all the time. They'll be like 88 and sunny on Saturday, plan a cookout, and then it's the kind of downpour where I'm like losing electricity. And it's like, how could you get it this wrong? That's like if I was like, oh, this year's Stanley Cup winner is going to be the Milwaukee Bucks.
It's got to be. There's a lot of
Well,
convergence
that's
of
not
like
possible.
pressure zones and stuff there. There's a lot of like hot air and cold air mixing there.
We had all the
Causing
airs,
random
all the
weather
kinds
events.
of air. Ask anyone I know about all the different types of air.
Whereas all the weather systems in Georgia, for example, come from south west of us, from the Gulf of Mexico. Often, if it's anything big, when hurricanes hit us, that's sort of in quotes hit us in Atlanta. it'll be these huge waves and bands of rain that come from the Gulf. So you see it coming for days and days in advance.
So
Yeah,
Zach's
it's
about to
interesting,
show
man.
that map. Hopefully the link works.
Keeps
It's all working well. It should.
To mute that.
Wish it were fewer steps.
I really dig the
There we go.
Mexican weather girls, though. Oh, I thought it was going to be Mexican weather girls.
No, but you see, like Florida, 7 days out, no more than 2 here in like the Missouri, Kansas area, and where we are, it's 3 to 4. I forget what I said, but
Yeah, that's a huge area where they're not getting more than 2 days out.
nobody lives there though.
Chicago and St. Louis and what other
Never heard
cities
of
in
them.
there? Minneapolis.
I've
Just-
been to Oklahoma, Taylor.
There's dozens of people there that are listening right now. We probably got 3 or 4,
There's more Buttigieg supporters than there are people in northern Oklahoma.
and that's not many. So Milwaukee, Minnesota. Now we'll never know. The Dakotas, they probably have a city between them. Bismarck, the bustling metropolis of Bismarck.
What is the biggest city in the Dakotas? Like I know Mount Rushmore's in South Dakota. Is that the
Fargo.
I was guessing Bismarck because that's the capital of.
We'll never know.
I
look it
couldn't care less.
Let's spend.
I'm
a
looking
huge
for
amount-
Mexican weather girls.
Oh yeah, well they always have good weather, and so it's just like a reaffirmation that they live in a nice climate, that they get to watch the weather every day, and it's really just about watching a hot lady. So good for them. It's a good part of their culture.
Yeah,
They
it's
should bring
France
it here
versus
with
Mexico. Show that, Zach. That's
Oh,
good stuff.
France! I would have thought France would be all about something sexy.
Their weather's always shitty, right?
Yeah, that's why even more so. And there's a lot of hot women in France.
Hmm.
I think.
It's
Well, it's a
Sioux
big country.
Falls.
Oh my god!
Sioux Falls.
What is this nonsense? France. Ugh.
Doesn't that makes you want to move down to Mexico, like just to watch the weather girl? Can we
Kyle,
get this
is she
channel?
a 10?
Like her body is near perfect. We can't really see, but like she's shaped cartoon like.
I've
She's also
seen
posing well.
everything I need to see. That is
Her
such
face
a-
could be she could not have a nose like Skeletor or
There's
something.
There are
nothing her
positions
face
in which
could
the
look
face doesn't matter.
If she turns around and I see you looking back at me, it's still a 10.
The reason she can't be a 10, the reason she can't be a 10 is like now imagine she has a twin sister who has just like better nails and stayed out of the sun a little more. Now you fucked up.
So in
Now-
your world, there can only be one 10.
No, that it's
Okay.
that
That'd be
it's that
ridiculous.
it's that there can be no 10s.
Okay.
No, that's-
I
how's
thought I
that?
was extreme.
So you're doing
Wow,
it on
this
like an
woman's
earthquake
talented.
scale. Wow, your theory is crumbling before our eyes.
I just saw 2 10s.
Look, near perfection. But again, you're wanting to define this as perfection.
You
I
could look
wouldn't
like
even
one of
say-
those people
we
that
can't
fuss
even
about
see
Megan
her.
Fox's thumbnails.
We can't even see her.
You wouldn't say
I'm-
she's a 10. She's right here.
Look, Megan Fox's thumbs are why she's not a 10. She can be whatever you want her to be, but come on, them thumbs. If you were changing her character around in a video game, you probably trim those back a little.
You would never notice her thumbs.
But you would because I already just told you about them. Now you know, and now you have Megan Fox. You're gonna trim them goddamn thumbs.
Trim her thumbs.
Yes.
So like just clip them.
like create a class. This is magic. God damn it! Aren't you
Okay,
following
well,
along?
I'm
There's
following
a
along
fantasy
somewhere.
happening right now.
I don't think a weird thumb is enough to knock a woman down from a
Dude,
10
I've
to a
seen the
9.7
thumbs.
or whatever.
Well, then we have a very
We have a
different
different
rating
definition
system.
of 10.
What is this, Zach? This is just a hot ass chick. But again, not a 10. Like I don't know. I can't see half of her face. Like again, gorgeous, beautiful, nearing perfection.
I don't like her face, how she has that like resting frown.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the weather girl? Oh. Just a weird
My
bit
goodness.
of face
just
then.
her body turned out to be perfect.
Yeah.
Who would have thought? Jesus Christ. I think Amaranth
You're
is pretty
changing your
close
story
to
more
it.
than a fucking weather girl.
I'm an Amaranth fanboy, so I would have to say she's like a 8.5 or something like that. She's like super high up there to sort of. You just don't see many like perfect from head
Yeah, you
to
don't
toe
see
in
many.
every way human beings.
On the rating scale, I'm somewhere in between, right? Some people would argue that 10% of people are 10s, right? But that's a lot. It should be a bell curve. But I think that the top 0.1% of people can be 10s. And what is that? 1%? No. 0.1 is 1 in 1,000. So what if I go to the shopping mall and get 1,000 people there, I should find a single 10. And this weather girl qualifies. She would be that person.
I think Woody's assessment is accurate. I think it's fair and balanced.
No, it's figure skating rules. You know, like what if you see something better? What if they spun one more time up there? How is that a 10? What if she made it a quadruple axel?
Doesn't figure skating only go up to 6?
I think I don't think that's accurate.
I've never actually watched it. I've just seen that clip of that one woman whose name is escaping me.
Nancy Kerrigan.
Getting hurt. Yeah, Nancy Kerrigan. I've just seen all that stuff.
I watched the Olympics because they're often very pretty and they're wearing very little and they're athletic and it's cool. And when they fall, it's kind of dramatic, you know.
You can imagine yourself with them because they're skating with a gay guy.
The highest score in figure skating is a 6. Kyle's a tough judge. He's going to see that weather girl and be like, 5.8.
Yes.
Jesus.
You're talking about, asymptotically approaching a 10, but never quite reaching it. You didn't eat vegetables until 5 years ago. I'm not. I'm not taking.
I wasn't missing out on much. Oh, peas are so fucking good. Get out of here.
Okay, you pick one of the worst vegetables.
They're good with rice and too much butter.
I mean, I probably had bell peppers in my fajitas at some point. You know what I mean? I pick those up.
Did you gag? You're like, you're just eating like an 11-year-old until your early 30s is the funniest bit.
Yeah.
Yay, Dino Nuggies. You're 31.
All right, now I didn't do that. I wouldn't do that. Like I never liked processed foods, like overly processed. There's like a second category of processed foods. I can't remember what it's like, super processed or something, hyper processed, stuff like Dino Nuggets, where they've like liquefied some sort of paste of meats and then they've mixed it with some other chemicals, preservatives and flavorings, and then they've formed it and made it appear to have been fried, and it's in a little smiley face. Like, that shit is scary. That to me is like Soylent Green level. Like, I don't want to put that in my body. I mean, I eat hot dogs. Hot dogs are good. Like, I feel like if you get the good hot dogs, especially the more expensive kind, then they're not grinding up pig assholes, presumably, and putting them in there, which I prefer.
Do you consider bratwurst to be a higher quality hot dog like I do?
Depends on what mood I'm in. Sometimes I prefer the nice all beef hot dog, but I like brats a lot as well. A nice spicy brat.
It's its own little thing, like category. It's almost like going to a corn dog. Those things are so big. They always have a snap.
Maybe I'm a hot dog size queen, and I really just
sounds like
on brats. Yeah,
we all. I mean, I want a big old beefy brat or a big beefy hot dog, and it's got to be beef. I go to someone's house and they try and serve me a chicken and turkey and pork mix hot dog. Hands will be thrown.
I'm like he was telling me it's got to be so girthy that it hurts a little.
On the way out and the way in.
Yeah, I don't like that. I like the skinny hot dogs, and preferably they sort of split them down the middle and like grill them until they're almost blackened.
I mean, that's good,
something like that.
Too. But if you're at a barbecue or whatever, aren't you a little happier when you're like, bro, they got the big giant ballpark Franks?
I'd genuinely be a little like bummed out if that's
when I
all
say
they had.
ballpark Franks. I don't want someone to misconstrue what I said and think I'm talking about the ballpark brand, because there are many better brands. I just mean the style, like the big hot dog.
I don't care for those. I like the skinnier one that like is really steamed or like boiled. I like boiled hot dogs. I boil them in like some seasoning and spices and stuff like that. And I don't like any snap at all. I don't want a real intestine hot dog. I want a caseless hot dog.
Oh no, I'm down with the snap. I like that. So you probably don't like brats much at all because they've all got a snap.
They all do. I like chicken sausages. There used to be this chicken sausage stand I'd go to. Fucking delicious. They'd be full of jalapenos and cheese and all sorts of nonsense. Be really good.
I'm not that big on cheese in my brats. If whatever I want to add to my brat, I can do after it's done. I can throw some onions on there. I can throw some sauerkraut. Sauerkraut's the S tier #1 topping you can put on a brat. But I don't need cheese in it. I don't need jalapenos in it. If I want jalapenos, I'll slice up raw jalapeno and put it on there. Or pickled jalapenos.
I don't like this big gigantic thing. And I don't like bratwurst at all. I just don't like how it tastes.
You're just not that's not very Western and not very American of you.
It's German.
Bratwurst Well, they are Western. I was about to push back.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
kind of
Western-
German, right?
Germany, that's Western. There's a lot. How'd we get brats here? A bunch of fucking Germans came
They're
over.
always
and they,
chewy. Like I'm imagining eating one right now, and I'm imagining chewing for way too long on this like case of this thing,
It's
and
not
just
the
like
chewy for me. It's the heat. Like oftentimes a brat is burning hot on the inside. Like not spicy, but like the temperature is still boiling for way too long.
yeah, and I've been punished for that.
Yeah,
Where
you're not alone.
You take a bite off it immediately, and you're like, "Well, my mouth is already burned. I may as well continue eating." Poor Jed.
Taylor has a PhD. He's not a medical doctor.
Yeah.
Just burn your birds. I already got you. What can you do?